Hello and welcome back to a brand new vlog. My name is Orion and I make videos every single Wednesday and Sunday and I post them at 6 p.m. And I am currently in the progress of converting my nan's garage to turn it into a storage room. I am expecting a baby in November and where I live currently just doesn't have the room to put all of my things. So my nan very kindly lent me this space as she doesn't use it and said I could do what I like with it. So I've been converting it. And in the last vlog, we made some headway with using conduit and sorting out all of the electrics in here, as well as the battens along the wall, ready for us to start putting insulation in later today. However, I also received this door in the last video, and unfortunately, they have sent me the wrong size door. It is too big for the frame that I have built. So this morning, I have been out to B&Q to get me some more materials, because what I'm going to do is just widen this door frame to accommodate the door, because I don't have time to wait to send it back to get the right one shipped out. Like, it'll take too long. It's taken a while to get that door sorted. So instead, I'm going to do it myself and just make the door wider. So the first job today is to deconstruct what I have built already. Fortunately, because I don't actually own a brad nailer, I have screwed everything in. So it's just a case of undoing all the screws. And whilst it's a long process, it's actually a lot easier than removing nails. Okay, with the door lining removed and the header studs removed as well, what I'm going to do next is I'm actually going to work from one side and widen it this side. So the first thing I need to do is add a new header stud here. King stud all installed, and I also added the stud work for the channel for the conduit to run down. Now we just need to cut the door lining to size and fit that as well. Job all done. Now I've got one side completed. Now I need to take some measurements, like several of them, to make sure I get the width right. Because if I go too wide, then there'll be a big gaping gap in the door frame, and we don't want that. It's actually much better to actually plane the door down to fit the frame than it is to make the frame too big and then the door just doesn't fit. With most doors, you get about 12 mil give on each side, so maximum 12 mil, 6 on each side if you wanted, of planing and trimming the door down to size. So I'm not too worried about making the frame ever so slightly too small. However, deconstructing this side of the stud work is actually going to be annoying because I built this on the ground and screwed from underneath. So to get this stud work out, I really don't want to have to take the whole thing out, but I might actually have to do that. And it is at this point I am regretting making the door wider. But I have somehow managed to take most of the stud work apart. I had to use my multi-tool and a hammer to basically saw off the end of the screws and remove the stud work, as you can see by these really hot pieces of screw lying around. But we are now all set to widen the frame. So using a handsaw, I need to cut a straight line here to shorten it. Now I feel like we're finally getting somewhere. I just need to screw in my king stud, add in my lining studs and then the lining, and then we finally have the door completed. Oh, never mind, I forgot I need to make a new header. But that is job one completed. And it is now time for a bit of lunch. So a little reminder, if you've not already done so, to leave the video a thumbs up rating and make sure you subscribe if you're new around here. With lunch consumed, it is now time to sort the header out. Last time I did this, my header lining actually snapped. So I'm gonna make a new one that's gonna go across, then I'll add I want to say it's 6x3 back above the header and then noggins across the top. I realize that I'm not filming a whole lot of me doing this, but I've already made a video on making the header and stuff like that, but it is all in. The doorway is officially complete. This has taken me way longer than I would have liked, but it is done. All that I have left to do now is add an upright in this corner, another upright in that corner, and then we're basically ready to start sorting out the insulation. I also remembered that something I did in this corner on the last vlog, adding this wood, so I've got something to screw the plasterboard into. I have now repeated on this side and on that side over there. I have now run out of wood and I didn't need to use a full length here anyway, because there's not probably there's going to be no screws here. So using the shorter lengths I have as offcuts just to fill that space is fine. I'm hoping that I'm going to be okay to fit plasterboard up there. I did put noggins all the way across the top, so when it comes to fitting it, I have somewhere to screw the plasterboard into, but I'll need to mark that up before I cover it. And to do that, I'm literally just going to find where the stud is, leave a marker line on the ceiling, and then I'll know exactly where I need to screw it. But with the studs all marked out and the room nice and tidy, ready for the installation, I definitely feel like I've reached the end of like a weird era of work, because it's just been so much sawing wood, screwing all the wood in, drilling. It's been a lot. It's taken me a long time to do this, and I'm a little disappointed because I want to say I'm a tiny bit of a perfectionist, and I would like it to be tidier and done neater than it has been done. However, I am doing this myself for the first time. I've never done anything like this before, and I was bound to make mistakes, and this was honestly probably the perfect place to learn how to do all these things for the first time. So when I make those mistakes, if I ever come to do it again, I hopefully won't make those mistakes. However, it is crazy to think how far we've actually come with progression in here and how it looked before. Even with like how bad the attic was, and I completely forget sometimes that I've completely redone the attic and it's all new and fresh up there, as well as doing down here. Anyways, enough of me reflecting on the progress I made. I feel quite proud of myself and what I've achieved in here. Even with the mistakes, it is what it is. But it is now time to put the insulation up, which means after this is done, the last thing to do is to fit the plasterboard, and it will start to feel like a proper room. So with one final look at what we've achieved so far, it is time to put my phone on charge because it's literally got 2%, and roll a bit of a time lapse. Holy moly, this took forever, and it has left quite the mess in here. However, at 6:30, I am glad that it is all insulated and finally ready to be plasterboarded. I have just like a couple of things that I will say about doing this. This thing makes deaf noises. It is actually made to cut insulation. It's like a Stanley blade, but a big version of it. It's loud and very obnoxious. However, it creates no dust really at all because it's clean cuts. This thing, very quick, very good. It's just a fine saw, but like fine bladed saw that I got for doing this. But it creates dust everywhere. And I will say this, after the fact, yes, we should be wearing masks, and it's not big or clever that we didn't. I just didn't have one, and I'm strapped for time. There's no good excuse for it. We should have worn masks and we didn't. If you ever do insulation or anything that is remotely dusty when you're doing all this kind of stuff, then get a mask, get the right PPE. I'm just doing DIY. I'm not like contracted to be here or anything like that. It's just me doing my thing. So yeah, heads up, if you do this, it is incredibly dusty. It's well worth wearing a mask. All right, the damage has been dealt and it's time to clean all of this up. So with a quick bit of movie magic, we can finally see the transformation in its entirety. Wow. It feels so much brighter in here now because obviously the light is reflecting off all of the walls. However, I do think I'm going to have to wait a while for literally let the dust settle in here so I can clean it up properly. It's going to take a couple of goes with a Hoover to get rid of it all because it's still statically stuck to all of the walls as well. So I'd like to get it all dust-free, well, as dust-free as I possibly can before I do plasterboarding, which is inevitably going to make it even more dusty. But mission successful. It has been a long ass day. It may not seem it by this vlog because it's been probably fairly quick pace like they usually are, to be fair, but I've been trying to crack on to get this sorted because I need a break. I said this last time, but the weather in England is absolutely amazing at the moment, and I need to get out of a dusty environment and into some fresh air. So I'm going to take a little bit of a break from the conservatory. I'm so mashed, but I'm going to take a little bit of a break from doing the garage for the time being because I've got a lot of stuff coming up. I'm going to do like a day in the life because I know a lot of people really enjoy watching the behind the scenes of editing and all that kind of stuff. So I'm going to do a bit of a day in the life. We're going off camping as well, a big family get together camping. I want to talk about my teeth. As I mentioned a few vlogs ago, there's a lot going on in my life. doing therapy and get my teeth sorted and self-care basically, and I want to talk about that, make a video. So now's the time. There's going to be a few vlogs of that, probably 4, I would say, a couple of weeks worth of us going out and adventuring and spending time with the family, because this isn't really spending time together. As satisfying as it is to see this place be transformed, and obviously this is for our family and the future, half the time I'm just working off, sweating my ass off in here working, and Jess and Benjamin are just like sat outside, or Benji's playing, Jess is crocheting usually, and it's not really spending time together. So I want to go do that for a little bit, and I know people enjoy those vlogs. So if you have enjoyed this video and you like the DIY stuff, again, please do leave it a thumbs up rating, because it helps me know that people enjoy the DIY content, and it helps the videos reach a bigger audience. If you're new to my channel, then make sure you subscribe, and you'll get notified when I post videos, and help us grow the channel to 25,000 subscribers, which is absolutely mental to even say. But yeah, guys, it's been Orion. Thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate everyone who tunes in to watch me pour sweat, blood, and tears into this thing. But yeah, I'll catch you guys next time. Peace, much love. Bye-bye.